Alright, YouTube, what's up, man? Back up here. I got my tablet in my hand. It's huge. Got my shirt. Think I like my shirt, what it says. And this is I'm going to show you stuff I don't have time for. Or the. I'm trying to make this kid friendly so kids can watch this and learn, because that's where it starts at. When you're a kid, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. The Constitution says you have rights. Whoever you call your creator says that you have certain inalienable rights that you're born with. So, I don't mind showing who these people are, because I don't really care. They're a joke. Okay. I got these 3 tickets right here. See that? Okay. On the court, I did this. See that? Stipulate an appeal. So I appealed it. I wrote out a letter. I made a reservation of rights. I'm not going to tell y'all what that is. I'm going to make y'all look it up, because y'all need to do your homework like I did. So I made that reservation of rights and I mailed it off to Pell City, because that's where they appealed this to. Because once you appeal it at one court, it gets sent to another court. Pretty much like you're changing the venue of the court. You don't want to hear what the judge got to say. You either move it somewhere else. So that's what they did. So that's what I did. Get that out of the way. I mailed it to Pell City. Pell City mails it back, because I mailed Pell City the same reservation of rights. Which, look it up again. You got to reserve your rights. And then mail it to the court as a certified letter. And I'll tell you, it has to be certified by a court clerk or a notary public. You can do that at the bank. Most of your banks have one in there. Just go in and see them. They'll read it and they'll sign it and stamp it and whatever. But don't sign it. You have to fill it out. You have to write it all out. But don't sign it until you're in front of them, because they won't stamp it and sign it. Okay, back to this again. I'm hereby ordered to set motion to go up on this court date. So I show up on this court date, and then me and the lawyer talk. I can't find my paperwork somewhere. Oh, hold on. That morning when I showed up, I can't find my paperwork where I reserved my rights again at that court. But I filed with the court clerks. She had to stamp. I kind of felt sorry for her, but I don't, because they commit fraud every day without you legally knowing it. It is 187 pages of hand-stamped file by the court clerk. There we go. There's my reservation of rights. Blah, blah, blah. See? Reservation of rights. Blah, blah, blah. You can't look at it. Come up with your own stuff. Okay. I'll be plagiarizing. Do your own homework. I had to. You can do it. Anyway. Okay, we'll get that out of the way. 20 pounds of shit. Damn. Gotta get that out. Anyway. Alright, so we talked, blah, 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 with the supposed prosecutor of Moody, or who represents Moody. Anyway, this is what they sent me in the mail, saying what I owed, because it said it owed. Hold on. Here, blah, blah, blah. What did it say that? One page? I guess that was it. Yep. That was it, wasn't it? Yep. Yep. Okay. Yep. Blah, blah, blah. This is what they tried to charge me with. This is what they tried to hit me with. But say, man, the lawyer talked at court, and we agreed. Make you listen to these terms, or these words I'm saying. Agreed upon and stipulated. Those are not the terms stipulated, nor the puns, or the terms agreed upon. See, blah, blah, blah. It says all this stuff. It says dismiss on payment of court costs, waive fines. So they waived all the fines. What they said. Blah, blah, blah. See, you gotta know how to sign this. All rights reserved. You gotta look all this stuff up. I'm not gonna tell you what all this stuff means, but you have to look it up. There's another one. It's another short way of reserving your rights. So I called the court clerk back, and I was like, hey, ma'am, I think y'all made a mistake. I was like, y'all told me that was going to be this amount, and that not this. So I don't know where y'all getting your stuff from. So she's like, well, I'll call him and talk to him. She called and talked to him, and she called me back. And this is the new term they came up with. Plain lady. See, right there. And tore the corner got tore off. I had to open the letter up. I don't know how that happened, but it did. But look, it went from that to that. And it's not on my record. And when they tell you that you have to register your vehicle, it's not a vehicle, it's an automobile. You go buy an automobile, you purchase automobile insurance. And none of these are crimes. They're infractions of the law. And once you start to read the law, you'll understand the law that in order for it to be a crime, there must be an injured party or damaged property. And in most cases, the state cannot put an injured party in any court of law of equity. And what is equity? That's equity, because that's money, equity. This is supposed equity, but they weren't gonna get that shit from me. They only got that. And all charges dismissed. Waived. Not on my record, dismissed. Boop, dismissed. All three of these charges dismissed, dismissed, dismissed. Get that out of here. Get that out of here. Get that out of here. Yeah. You tolerate what you put up with. So if you tolerate them writing you tickets, and you put up with them writing you tickets, and drag you into court, treating you like some criminal, and no offense, once you sit time in jail for stupid tickets, yeah. We won't get into 180 days in jail for some tickets. Yeah, 6 months of your life for tickets. And you can actually sue these people. Look at this. Might be a long video. I wasn't intending to be too long, but you gotta go get you some law books. Spend you some money. Waste some time, get some law books. Damn, I have my vape somewhere. This law book happens to be General Practice, Title 6 of the U.S. Code. And it goes into all kinds of details. You have all your civil practices over here, your actions. The book breaks everything down. And then you have all your remedies to your actions. And in here somewhere, I got marked. Because I'm actually going through a lawsuit right now with child support for suspending my license for failure to pay child support when I was involved in a motorcycle wreck. And I was off of work for a whole year, which had to be another story. I won't get all into that right now. But I've got these pages marks. What's this say? Subsection 6, 5-4, recovery of public monies, funds, or property. Okay, we're gonna flip this over. I'll give you all a little peek at some of these books. I'll give you a chance to screenshot it or pause a page, or if you want to read. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Parties defendant, which is you. Here you go. Right here. What constitutes as public funds or monies? Money due the state under contract represented by checks upon which payment has been stopped. The money belonging to the state and the public funds or monies. Who is an agent? That's it, pretty much. Anybody who works for the state or a subcontractor of the state or blah, blah, blah. Custodian, what they want to say. Pretty much like a guardian ad litem, you can put that in there if you want to deal this with kids or juvenile cases. You can change these words out. Just the words on here isn't what you can use. In law, it's weird because it tells you like they'll substitute like the captain or some dumb thing just so you know, like not to say captain, but you know, yeah, the rabbit hole goes deep. Anyway, Oh, yeah, here we go. I seen it earlier. No crime, no claims, false immediate, blah, blah, blah. It went into a while ago about how all the, it went to cop. See, how the law works is pretty much it's obligation of the state, the burden of the state to prove your guilt. So they have to prove that you're operating in a commercial capacity, which would be you driving. But if you're operating under a right, which you have the right to travel, then you're not operating in a commercial capacity. So that means you're not in their jurisdiction. If any of this is making sense, you'll have to look all this stuff up. And then, because you're not in their jurisdiction, any judge who takes an oath, who doesn't act in his oath, loses his subject matter jurisdiction, which you have to look that up. Look up subject matter jurisdiction. Oh, I'm taking some more milk. That was good for you. And I'm not spreading all this to stop people from paying their tickets or acting retarded on the highways and be like, I'll just beat my tickets because I know how to beat them. No, I don't condone in stupidity and reckless driving, because a reckless driving is different ticket than me not registering my automobile because they said I have to. Where's that paper at? I just brought it up while ago. I had it while ago somewhere. So you got to print out like case numbers, constitutional laws concerning your case. These are all constitutional case laws. You have to look all these up. Titles and codes and all that stuff. You can look up your state constitutions as well. Go down to your local law library or go to just a local library. They should have a copy of your state's constitution because it differs from the Constitution of the United States. See, constitutional case laws, you can get all this stuff printed out. Right here you go. The claim to exercise a constitutional right cannot be converted into a crime. What does that say? These are, okay, now, you gotta know what these are. These are United States Supreme Court rulings. So these are a federal ruling. So if you know about law, which I know a lot of people do, federal law trumps state law. So if you have a federal ruling, then a court can say whatever they want to say. All you got to do is bring up, well, in the case of Trevance versus the city of Tampa, they said this. Evidence that motorist cited for traffic violation was incarcerated for 23 minutes during booking process, even though he had never been arrested at the time, blah, blah, had sufficient cash on hand to pose bond pending the sufficient citation. It was sufficient to support a finding that the municipality employing officer who cited motorists from County Board of Criminal Justice, which operated a facility in which motorist was incarcerated, had unconstitutionally deprived motorist of his right of liberty. That's the Supreme Court ruling. There. This is the subsection that is up under. I was just reading that in the book over there a while ago. You look this title code up, you can Google it. 42 USCA, section 1983, and it's violation of civil rights under color of law, because it says right here, I just seen that too. It's in that book over there. I gotta look it up. Any officer who acts in an unconstitutional manner loses all jurisdiction. So when they try to say you wasn't obeying a police officer's command, then if his command is unconstitutional, then he's voiding himself, but he's acting in a certain way that he doesn't know that he's voiding himself, because they don't teach them constitutional law. They teach them codes and statutes. Sorry, I'm drinking more milk. And by law, a code or statute is not a crime if you violate them. It's an infraction. If they were laws, they would be called laws. They would not be called codes or statutes. You have to think, people. If you listen to TV during the holidays, be wary, people, all the travelers on the road. That sounds really familiar right there, don't it? Travelers. Look out, people. There's a lot of holiday travelers on the road. Look out. There's that piece of paper right there. I will pause for a second and let y'all look at this. Screenshot it, do what you gotta do. So here's another Supreme Court ruling right here. And these tell you when they were ruled upon too. Even though they're almost 100, they're over 100 years old, there's still a Supreme Court ruling, and most of these Supreme Court rulings that deal with these issues have never been overruled at all. Once the Supreme Court makes a ruling, it's hard to get a Supreme Court to unrule a ruling, because most judges do not want to overturn another judge's ruling. You learn that in law too. And they have a right to, like I said, they can pass it off to one court for another. Like, they can pass the ball around, because this court, it's a game. That's what this is, a game. You got to know how to play the game. So if you want to learn how to play the game, hit me up on this on the comments down here, and I'll show you some more stuff about how deep the rabbit hole goes, because you'll be surprised. I'll give you a little glimpse of how deep the rabbit hole goes. Has anybody ever heard of the straw man? Look up your straw man. I got the stuff marked. Ooh, I need to save that one page right here. I don't need to lose that one page. Where'd it go? There it go right here. There it is, that page. Go right there. Okay. I think this is it. Okay, yeah. This is kind of it, but I'll look for it in a second. This pretty much says, once you get a ticket in the mail, or you get pretty much not in the mail, but a ticket period. Oh yeah. This is the last thing they sent me in the mail, showing that I just mailed them $91 because anybody. So that's not all you pay, with $91. What's that say? Pro se. Court clerk. Blah blah blah. Which I wrote on there. I don't like to be called pro se, because if you try to do all this as pro se, $0. They try to hold you to their standards. And if you read their laws enough, like I have, they don't even hold themselves to their own standards. So don't hold me liable to your standards when you don't even hold yourself to your own standards. That's contradicting yourself. So that pretty much falls into when your problems become my problems and we have problems. And I don't have time for that. All right, I'll flip the camera around. We'll do it like that. I don't have time for that. Flip the camera back around. All right, let's see, where's it at? Ooh, writs. You need to learn what those are. Writs, it's kind of like an affidavit. Oh, what did I do with that damn thing? I just had it in here a while ago. I was just looking at it, man. By a property tax should be assessed with time of claim interview. A private levy upon the innovation should be. I was just reading this a while ago. I don't want to mark this book up because I write stuff down in my book. Yeah, bro. All right, sorry about that. I'm back. That was the wife calling. She's seeing her parents. She's on vacation. Dear Mrs. Gump, Mr. Gump, she's on vacation. No, for real, she's on vacation. She's in South Carolina. Anyway. I do not recommend vaping either, or smoking. They're all stupid, but once you get where you need nicotine to not choke people. Ooh, right here. Forgery claimant bonds, execution of amount of judgment, damages, and cost. Okay, right here. So if a judgment is entered against you and he fails to deliver the property to the officer making the levy and pay the cost of the trial of the prior within 30 days, such officer must endorse the bond, forfeiting, and thereupon the property was levied and under execution, or if levied on under attachment after judgment in favor of the plaintiff against the defendant in attachment, the clerk must issue execution against the obligors. Say they're trying to make you an obligor or an obligation on the bond. Say on the bond for the amount of the plaintiff's judgment. Say for the damages, if any, not greater than the amount of the judgment from the damages, if any were assessed in the cause of the trial or right of property. Say in the event. Look that up in law. What does the event mean in law? It means contract. You have to learn how to read these words and what they mean. Words like that do not mean event. Event is not something that's going to happen. It's already happened because they wrote it on some paper and they just wrote in the contract. But look up these words if you don't know what they mean, especially in the word in law meaning or the meaning of law. I'm trying to find out. I was reading that one ago. See, all it says remedies. I had to. I was just reading this shit while ago. I can't remember where the hell it was at. Okay, well, I won't give you all this stuff. You're gonna look at it yourself and read it and find it yourself. I had to, but that's pretty much it. This is where I'm from. Make sure you look up your own codes in your state, because don't go using codes from this. Now, the constitutional stuff that I showed you earlier and those tickets over there, you can use those because those are constitutional, so they apply to any state. And it's weird because you got no law, but saying how the United States is not the United States anymore, it's been captured by maritime law. It's just kind of funny. It is. It's goes back to your straw man and stuff. But yeah, the maritime law deals in commerce, trades, commercial goods, exchange of banking, monies, all that stuff. So all this is considered commerce, which under Universal Commercial Code is. That's what it is, Uniform Commercial Code. So it deals with commerce, engagement, and all that stuff. Over your so-called motor vehicles and all that stuff. So, yep. Oh yeah, here's some more of them few pages that I had on that 128 that she had to stamp and sign and stuff. But I pulled a few of these out because they have a little more weight than others too. Because it's nice to have cases that are Supreme Court rulings, but you don't want cases that are 100-something years old. Even if they've never been overturned anyway. It's still nice to have older cases. Especially that one in your own state too. I got one here somewhere that's from your own state. It's from my state. Mr. Shuttlesworth versus the city of Birmingham. If y'all need some homework, look that up. Shuttlesworth versus Birmingham. So is an automobile always a vehicle or a motor vehicle? Argument. Federal. Well, here, see. Gotta learn to read these, people. These are your rights that you're dealing with. When people say the police and the government is getting too corrupt and they've got too much power and money, well, too much money leads to corruption and greed and more power. So if you want to stop, if you want to bite the hand that feeds them, don't feed the pig and fight back. The car that I didn't have registered was a 2020 Subaru WRX Series White STI Limited Edition, one of 500 cars, which is almost a $50,000 car. So I paid state tax. I paid a sales tax, which is the state tax. I paid a city tax, and I paid a county tax. So by law, under UCC, an automobile is consumer goods and it's non-taxable. You can look that up too. But yeah, so now I don't pay taxes on it. I want to pay taxes on it again. And it's not used for commercial purposes. I travel in it, so I don't have to register it. Because when you register it, it means you're turning it to an automobile into a motor vehicle. Kind of like when you go get your driver's license and you're pretty much waiving your right and turning your right into a privilege is what you're doing, and you don't know what you're doing because that's just what they tell you. And most people take the face value of law as it being the truth. But history shows that the government will lie to you and they do not hold you in your best interest. So these are more stuff that you can use. I went and bought a printer, 200, it was like 200 damn packs of paper, ink, all this stuff. You can get all this stuff. You can. Let me keep these in order. So I'm still reading over a bunch of these too. Oh, all this, here we go back to your trust. This is your straw man. You're a trust. You're the executive administrator to your trust. You have to learn. You got to read all this stuff, man. If you want to fight the people, you actually got to know what you're doing and know what to read and where to read it at. But I'm just going to give you a little bit of these. That's it. I think this is coming from a case ruling. I think this case ruling. No, these are actual articles I printed out. I think you got coffee on it. Funny. So you can't turn stuff like that into the courts because it's got coffee on it. So that's why I said I pulled these pages out. Yeah, where's it at? I'd have seen that under the thought somewhere. Nope. Well, so you gotta know what trustee means, then you gotta know what beneficiary means, and you gotta know what they call express trust and undivided interest, or just interest period or invested interest instead of undivided. They got all kind of. You look all this stuff up in the law meaning. Is where don't just look up what does undivided mean. Look it up. What does undivided in law mean? Say distribution in divided or undivided interests. See, the courts are interest. They are an invested. They are invested trust. See, termination of a trust. I won't get into all this because the rabbit hole goes deep. But leave some comments in the comment section. I'll read them. I'll give you some answers to those who leave questions, and I'll give you a shout out on the video, and we'll look up your answer in the book, or at least what I can give you in Alabama's code book, and whatever information I have available here, because I don't have any access to any more law books besides the few that just really pertain to my state. But if you want to go in depth, then you need like a lot of law books, and I don't have a lot of law books. So, but I do have internet. I gotta take a walk to the house. All right, I'll kill this video here. We'll get back later because it's kind of dark downstairs and I'm not putting all the lights on. So, but yeah, if you want to learn how to go from getting tickets to just walking out the door, pretty much giving them that and walking out the door and saying I ain't got time for that, you can leave it over that. And the poor little cop, he don't get his quota for the month here. Poor little cop, he don't get to go eat more donuts. He'll be okay. All right, then. Yep, y'all have a good one. Peace out. Y'all be safe. Hit that like button. Smash that subscribe button. And, hey, we can all kick ass and law together if you want to. I don't mind fighting back. I'm not one to go quietly into the night. So, yeah. All right, man. Y'all be good. Peace out.